Hello, I'm Heather.
And I'm Ryan.
And we are the Boxcard Gamers.
We play boxcard games.
In every episode. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to Boxcard Gamers. This is round 7 of Would You Rather. Here's how it works. We have a set of cards. On each card are 4 Would You Rather questions. I will ask Ryan each question on his card. If he picks the same answers I did, he gets a point. If not, he gets 0 points. Then we pick a new card, and it's my turn. Caveat, no more than 1 point and no fewer than 0 points may be awarded per question. Again, the game we are playing is called Would You Rather? It is by Zobmondo and is available for purchase on Amazon. Link in the show notes. They are not a sponsor. It should also be noted that we are playing a modified for podcasting version of the board game, aka regular Would You Rather. The current running score is Ryan 16, Heather 17. Ryan, are you ready for your card?
I am ready.
Fantastic. Ryan, would you rather, as a woman, wear high heels on a camping trip or have to wear Birkenstocks to the Oscars in plain view, of course?
Birkenstocks to the Oscars, because I don't give a fuck.
I'm right there with you, man. And I don't know if you have ever worn heels, Ryan, on any kind of soft or grassy surface. It is not easy.
I would imagine it's not easy.
The heels just sink right in. They sink. I found out the hard way by surprise one time. Back in my young heel-wearing days, as I was frolicking around in my heels. I got really good, too, man. I could run upstairs, run downstairs 2 at a time in heels. Like, you get good.
Yeah.
And then you step on grass and you lose your whole shoe.
Hell
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, good pick, good answer. And at this point, if I get invited to the Oscars, I will probably wear what I'm wearing right now with Birkenstocks, and that'll be just fine.
Perfect.
Ryan, would you rather date someone who is always negative or date someone who is always falsely positive?
Falsely positive? Like confidently incorrect?
No, who's like keeps a chipper attitude, but it's very forced and fake is how I take that.
Oh.
There's this one guy at the Starbucks drive-thru that drives me absolutely insane. Because he goes like 15 octaves up. He's like, hey, how you doing? Welcome to Starbucks. I'm like, oh my God, dude. I'm not doing a good impression of it, but it's like he goes way high and I'm like, just relax, man. It's okay. I know you're nice. You don't have to force it.
The high-pitched voice reminds me of a story, but...
Ooh.
I was in a rental car one night, and I went to go put gas in it. I'm sitting there looking for the little gas lever, which is normally right down here by your left hand, like down on the ground, you know? Like, that's where they always are. Every single one of them. And I'm looking all over for this thing, and I can't find anything, so I go and try to push it to see if it's like one of those just push in, and then it like pops out sort of deals. And that wasn't working, and so I go back, and I'm sitting there looking for the lever again. Then all of a sudden I hear this guy go, or this person go, it should be right there, right next to your seat. And I was like, what the hell? And I like look over and I see this guy standing at the pump over from me. And I'm like, he didn't look like he would have like a voice like that, right? And I was like, I'm staring at him. He's like, you're looking for the gas lever, right? Should be right there by your seat.
Mickey Mouse. You've definitely told me this story before.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so he was sitting there helping me try to figure out how to open this thing, talking like that the entire time. And I thought like he was joking at first, but then I realized that it was like actually his voice.
Its voices can be deceiving.
Oh,
you know, I was sitting with my back to somebody one day at a library or something, and somebody was having a conversation behind me, and these 2 women were having this conversation, and this went on about 20 minutes. I finished whatever I was doing. I stood up, turned around, and it was like a man and a woman. And I was like, oh, dude, you do not have a deep voice, sir. Not at all. That was really surprised to see you there, as a matter of fact.
Hilarious.
All right, Ryan. So, would you rather date someone who's always negative or date someone who is always falsely positive?
I forgot about that. Look, I think I would rather date somebody that was falsely positive, as annoying as that would be. Because I feel like if you're living with someone or dating someone who's always negative, you're going to start like absorbing those feelings.
Yeah.
And you're going to start feeling negative too. At least with like the person like being fake happy. It might be annoying, but I don't think you would do as poorly as you would with someone who's always negative.
Also, I think somebody that's fake happy is probably happier anyway than somebody that's just plain negative all the time.
Or they're dying inside and they're trying to fake it.
Yeah, but even that's better than just like miserably being like, everything sucks.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to push through it, you're trying to get through it. And you're going to find yourself at least some of the time in an actual positive mood around that.
Right.
If I can go from personal experience. Now.
For sure.
Ryan.
Yes.
Would you rather run 20 miles in 68-degree weather or 8 miles in 100-degree weather?
How many were the first miles?
20 miles. Wow. 68 degrees. We're talking Fahrenheit here, folks.
I think I would rather do 20 miles in 68 than 112. Dude, you would be roasted and dead after mile 2.
8 miles in 100-degree weather.
Yeah, that would suck. 8 miles is going to feel like 20 miles. I might as well do the actual 20 miles.
This is hard. I have down the 8 miles just because I think I can do it. I lived in Florida for a while. The summers here are pretty brutal.
Most people fatigue faster in the heat.
Huh?
Most people fatigue faster in the heat.
Yeah, but it'll be over sooner.
No, it won't.
Also, plus,
it'll probably take just as long.
I might pass out from heat exhaustion and get carted away and not have to finish it at all, which is another plus.
No, they reset the day and you have to start off where you fucking passed out. So if that happened mile 1, Heather, you got to do that 8 more times.
Okay, well, hold up a second. You bring up a good point. I have to run the entire distance, which means I'm not passing out anywhere because I'm going to be running 8 miles. So I'll be less.
No.
I'll regret it less if I do the 8 miles than if I try to do the 20.
Logic, like I'm not going to get tired running 20 miles in 68-degree weather.
No, the logic is not that you won't get tired; it's that you won't pass out because you have to. You will complete the course.
But this is like, okay, listen. Would you rather? Is probably a little fourth dimensional here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Hear me out.
Okay. I just wish people could see your expressions and hand gestures because it's great comedy. Please go on.
Heather. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're asking, would you rather, as in we would actually have to do this, right?
Yes.
So even in the spirit of the game, if you passed out, because passing out is a very real possibility that you have to consider. If I were today to say to you, Heather, you either have to do this or do that, right? So you are in the physical condition you are now, and you're right, you probably would pass out on mile 1 and be carted off to the hospital for heat exhaustion. Or you can run 20 miles. You can jog, speed walk, right? Because it's going to be within your physical limitations because nobody's going to be able to run. And even when they say, I ran a marathon, even if I ran a marathon and I walked part of the way, that's still running a marathon because I guarantee everybody who runs a marathon walks at some point because you got to not overexert yourself. So I could run 20 miles. Sure, there's going to be walking, a little bending, stretching, just like I would if I was doing 2 miles. But now you're in 100-degree weather It's like sunny. It's like blazing down on you.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Ryan.
no trees, no shade, nothing.
It does not say that there. Knock it off. Now you're just making things up. That's one thing. Second of all, I love how when it benefits you, we don't have to take it literally. But when it benefits me, it's all like, no, it's not what it says.
You just got me thinking, Heather. I had to think about this.
Did I?
And this is my final answer as far as like my feelings about this game. You have to consider your actual, just like when you were talking about doing the 8-foot jump, which I know neither you or I could do, but we could certainly hop over a fence. There's no way I could jump and clear it with my feet.
You just said that like we agree on it and we don't. Please continue.
No, because you chose to do, what was the other option? Fuck,
Are we talking about this one right here, the 20 miles in 68-degree weather or 8 miles in 100-degree weather? What are you sticking with? You're sticking with 20 miles in 68-degree weather?
20 miles and 68 degrees. Absolutely.
Excellent. 0 points for you.
Yeah,
Let's go
much.
on to the... Listen, in thinking about that one, Ryan, I legitimately did think about what I would actually prefer to do if faced with it in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'll regret that 8 miles in 100-degree weather, but we're never going to know.
Because you have the potential of dying from heat exhaustion.
Well, I have the potential for just dying of exhaustion on the other one.
Who dies from exhaustion, Heather?
Who
Nobody.
dies from exhaustion? Are you kidding? Are you kidding right now? Google. Google doesn't want to pull up. Is it possible to die from exhaustion? Excess fatigue is the most prevalent precursor of sudden cardiac death. And believe you me, if I had to run 20 miles, there would be some sudden cardiac death going on. Thank you.
It's
very
not
much.
Full running, Heather. It's not all the way running because obviously you're going to have... Anyway, I accept your answer.
I literally just pick 8 miles because it's the shorter distance. And I don't care. I'm going to suffer that temperature.
That's fair.
It doesn't say I can't bring water and a little fan and a squirt bottle for my face, okay? It doesn't say any of that there. I will prep myself. I will bring like a headband with like a beer can headband, but waters with a straw.
Mm-hmm.
So I have waters on each side of my head. There'll be cool waters keeping my head cool. I can drink through my little straw. I'll have a little fan attachment blowing a fan at me the whole time with spritzes of cold water. And also I'll put ice packs down my pants. So at least for the first, couple of miles, it won't be so bad. I got this all worked out. I really
Heather,
do.
I accepted your answer a long time ago.
You did? Because you didn't really seem like you did, but okay, fine.
I said I'll accept your answer.
You did, but that wasn't some time ago. It was like a few seconds ago.
It was just before that whole rant about how it doesn't say anything about having...
Okay. If we're going to talk about going on rants after somebody says something, we're going to have a different conversation altogether.
Touche.
Ryan,
Go on, Heather.
Would you rather, when faced with an attacking grizzly bear, be armed with a guitar... be armed with a guitar made of solid maple or with a saxophone? The answer is clear, Ryan. The answer is clear. Pick well.
Well, listen, I'm going to choose the saxophone because I'd rather destroy a saxophone than I would a guitar. And I don't think a guitar is going to be very useful for very long. Especially after the first, he paws it away and then mauls your face.
Mm.
At least with the saxophone, I can jab him. I can smack him before he can paw it. And it'll hurt more before he paws it and mauls my face.
Ryan, saxophone is the correct answer. But what you do with it is you just blast into it and hope it scares them off. That's my tactic. Because I'm not fighting a grizzly bear. Or I just get to listen to the beautiful sound of a saxophone as I die being mauled to death.
I like that answer better than mine, Heather.
Thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome.
All right, hit me with my card.
All right, Heather. Would you rather have 14 fingers or 16 toes?
Ryan, I would rather have 14 fingers could come in handy sometimes, but that's going to make me look like a total freak. With the 18 or 16 or whatever toes, at least I can hide that in shoes. Yeah, they're going to be whitish, clown-looking shoes, but it's still going to be less obvious than my 14 freakish fingers. And by the way, if you have 14 fingers, I don't mean to throw any shade at you.
I'd rather have 14 fingers.
Of course you would.
Do you pay attention to people's hands? I don't.
Yes, you don't.
No?
I once was transfixed by the hand of a man who had only 4 fingers. It wasn't because one of them had been lopped off. It was like he just didn't have any part of a hand, nothing. It was like a 4-fingered guy. And I couldn't take my hands off my eyes. Couldn't take my hands off of his hand. I couldn't take my eyes off of his hand. And then I never was brave enough to talk to him about it because I kind of figured, I don't know, like, what if he didn't want to talk about it?
Sure.
But it was very noticeable, and I definitely looked at it. And I think you would immediately notice if somebody had 7 fingers on each of their hands.
No, because you could make it look like really big hands. You could make it look like I could just walk around like this and make it look like I have sausage fingers.
No, it's going to be noticeable. Disagree. You're wrong, Ryan. You may pick 14 fingers, but I pick
Could you imagine
16
how
toes.
well you could play the piano with 14 fingers? Dude, I would be like taking
that was my first thought.
piano
That was my first
lessons.
thought.
No, can't change your answer now. But you could get
Well, no, I don't know how to play the piano anyway, so it's no good.
But that's
to
what
me.
I'm saying. If I had 14 fingers, I would get lessons. And then I could write like the most beautiful songs better than Beethoven ever could because I've got those 4 extra fingers to add in a little extra some. give my music a little pizzazz, if you will.
Ryan, I think if you were actually faced with a magical genie that was evil and was like, you don't get a wish, you just get a choice, 14 fingers or 16 toes, I think you would pick the 16 toes. I really do.
I'm not going to be able to fit in any shoes.
Get special made shoes. Wrap your feet
That
in
sounds
tape
expensive.
and slap a board on the bottom of them. No, you could absolutely get special made. You can get special extra wide shoes. There are companies that sell them. I know that because I already have extra wide feet, Ryan, and I have to get extra wide shoes all the time.
Toes. It's in your toe section, Heather. 18 toes. That's how many extra per foot? 4 per foot? Hey, I'm not trying to convince you to change your answer.
You know
I
what?
accept your answer.
How do I know my toes are all in a row? How do I know some of them aren't overlapped or coming out of the top of my foot onto the top of the ones below?
That's not in the spirit of the game. That's my new thing now, Heather.
You can't. I know because I said it to you one time, and now I can't hear the end of it. God. All right, 0 points for me. Next question because I'm done with this.
Heather,
Yes.
would you rather count all the grains of a sandcastle or all the eyedroppers full of water in an Olympic-sized swimming pool?
Ryan, I tell you what, these both sound hellishly sucky.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the basic deal. I'd rather go with the swimming pool because I just hate sand. I hate sand, and I don't want to count. I'd have to use a microscope. It's annoying. I'll just use my water stopper in the Olympic swimming pool, and I'll be fine with that.
Listen, Heather, I'm going to agree with you because I also feel like, well, how big is the sandcastle? I'm going to count the sand in a sandcastle because it doesn't say how big the sandcastle is. It says how big the pool is.
Mm-hmm.
So I will count the sand in a tiny little sandcastle.
Well, Ryan, I don't think your answer is in the spirit of the game.
Well, it's not an Olympic-sized sandcastle.
But it's a sand castle, not a sand small house lump.
They make little things that look like castles. It is a sand castle.
All right, you know what? You have fun counting your grains of sand in a tiny little sand castle. And I'm going to be counting my Olympic-sized swimming pool water dropper. Okay. And I'll be having a better time than you. So there.
Where are you going to put all those eyedroppers when you're done counting them?
I just need one eyedropper. I'm counting all the drops. I have one big empty Olympic-sized pool
Heather,
and one full one.
the swimming pool is full of eyedroppers.
No, Ryan.
Yes.
I'm counting how many eyedroppers full of water are in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. That's even more annoying than a swimming pool.
All the eyedroppers full of water. All the eyedroppers. Droppers, plural.
Ryan, let me read this question to you because I don't think that's what it says. Let's see here.
It literally says all the eyedroppers full of water in an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
It does literally say that.
It does literally say that, Heather.
I took that to mean you're literally counting how many drops of water are in using an eyedropper are in an Olympic-sized swimming pool is what I took that to mean. Let me find the card itself. One moment. You know what? No, because I don't know where I put it in the box, and I could be doing that for 20 minutes. So
it's fine, Heather. I accept your answer.
I would still rather count, even if it's a bunch of eyedroppers full of water. I'm still counting that. That's even easier than the drops of water.
Listen,
and it's still easier than counting grains of sand. You're a dumbass for picking a hard project. That's on you.
Sit in a chair with a table in front of me with my sand castle and knock it down into a little pile and then just start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then meanwhile, you got to figure out how to transport all those eyedroppers away from you or even relocating the Olympic swimming pool. You're going to put it in buckets and then go dump the buckets. And then you got to climb into the pool and you have to like walk around everywhere. And oh, no, wait, I'm mixing up scenarios here.
Make up your mind, buddy.
Well, if it was eyedroppers full, right? If you're counting all the eyedroppers, whether you're counting all the eyedroppers or squeezing the water out an eyedropper full of the time, there's going to be a lot more effort put into doing that than there is counting the sandcastle.
But I legitimately think it will be less annoying to count A, either drops of water, or B, eyedroppers than it would be to count literal grains of sand. Each grain of sand. Ryan, let's go back to Google for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, each sand grain is about 1/10 of a millimeter in size, which is the smallest thing that the human eye can see without help. Okay, so it's not microscopic, but it's the literal smallest thing the human eye... The idea of counting grains of sand makes my head explode. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to count grains of sand. I don't care how big the sandcastle is. Forget it. I'm sticking with my swimming pool. That's the right answer. And I'm sorry.
Liters of water? Hold on.
So 48,692,183,040 drops of water fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
You'll be there for the rest of your life and you will die before you're done.
Many grains of... That's what I was thinking. Sand in a... What's the size of your sandcastle?
It's this size.
Okay, how many ounces is that?
18 ounce.
How many grains of sand are there in a cup of sand? 15 million grains of sand. I guess it depends on the coarseness of the sand. So there would be a lot fewer grains of sand in a tiny little sandcastle that's not in the spirit of the game. That you would have to count while I would spend the rest of my life. So I'm a winner because I'm not even going to try because I'm going to be dead before I'm done anyway. So F it. I'd still rather do the drops.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
let's move on.
Let's move on to the next one, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather have to diet too heavy on grease or too heavy on sugar?
Grease, because then I could do keto.
You know what, Heather? I'm right there with you.
Thank you. Moving on. No discussion required.
Heather, would you rather chew like a cow or laugh like a goat?
Ryan, I would rather laugh like a goat, because then I could work on being very stoic and never laughing at anything anyone says ever, because I wish that I could do that. I wish that I had the power to not laugh when things are funny. I don't have that power.
I'd rather laugh like a goat.
That's what I just said.
Oh.
I'd rather laugh like a goat. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather laugh like a goat. Be hilarious. I'd make everybody laugh when I'm laughing.
A person who will remain unnamed, Ryan, we all gathered round one day, boarding school, in the student lounge to watch a movie over the weekend, and it was like Tommy Boy or there was like 3 movies that were always in there. It was Austin Powers,
I think
Tommy
I know who you're
Boy,
talking about.
and one other movie, and I can't remember. We just watched them in rotation, so we had one of the comedies on, and every time there'd be a funny bit, this dude would go, and we kept looking at him like, what is he doing? Because here's the thing, he never laughed like that before. Never.
Really?
Out of nowhere, he just starts laughing like, and we were like, oh my God, dude, what are you doing? He's like, what? We're like, that's not how you laugh. You've never laughed like that before. Why are you laughing like that? We were all very unhappy with him. And then I think because we all attacked him, he just kept doing it for the entire rest of high school. And I don't know, maybe he still does it today.
He does still do it today.
Does he?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Wow, that poor kid. You guys just bullied him into doing that for the rest of his life.
Yes. Listen, he's a really cool guy outside of the laugh. And if you're listening and you know who you are, please don't get mad at me. You're cool. Okay. I'm done with that. But it was just so bizarre. It was like out of nowhere, just electing to do some strange laugh.
That is very interesting.
Ridiculous. Well, Ryan.
Looks like you won again, Heather.
No, we're tied 19-19 because you don't want to play in the spirit of the game.
Neither do
I'm
you,
just
Heather.
going to keep saying it to you because you
don't want to play in the
to
spirit
me.
of the game either.
But no, you got 3.
Spiritless.
You got 3 and I got 2.
What?
Yes.
Now
Because
we're tied?
We're tied, yeah, 19-19.
Awesome. I'm going to pull ahead next game.
That was a great game.
And you're going to be adopted.
Listen, everybody. What do we want you to do? Subscribe, why don't you? Hit the subscribe button, the check mark, the follow, whatever it is. Never miss an episode. And other than that, have a cheerful, pleasant, optimistic. I need more synonyms. I keep meaning to look this up and I don't. Just gravy, groovy, cool week.
Jesus.
Until we play again.
Oh, I thought you were going to keep going.
Until we play again.